Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a fab evening. So my name's Natalia and I'm honoured to be able to share my experience of the Neonatal Unit who cared for my twins last year. So on the 13th of January last year, my twin boys Luca and Leo were born, very unexpectedly I may add. After going into hospital for reduced movements, it became quickly apparent that they had something called TAPS. So essentially, if they weren't delivered on time and quickly, we may lose one or both children, which of course was absolutely terrifying. TAPS is a very rare condition, so it meant that Leo was not receiving the appropriate amount of oxygen and nutrients he needs to survive, and Luca was getting too much. So you can see in the picture the complete difference in skin colour, okay? It was an incredibly scary time for my husband and I, and considering it was such an uncertain time, I felt that the doctors and surgeons who did my C-section were incredible. They kept us both calm, and they made sure that we were well looked after, and ultimately, they saved our twins. So little did we know, of course, of the journey we had ahead of us. And we embarked on the neonatal journey stay. And the neonatal ward, it felt a bit like a different world. I'd never even heard of neonatal unit. It was very naive, I know, and very stubborn of me to not know about it as well. One way to explain it, of course, is it's a world where there's machines around you beeping all the time. There's babies all around in incubators, there's parents sobbing next to their loved ones and the children. There's nurses helping you put on the tiny little nappies. You've never even seen a nappy that small. And I was like terrified, of course. I had a tiny little baby in front of me and I couldn't even change the nappy. So I was like, can you help? And of course, they were more than happy to help us. It was every day going in and thinking, is that comfy recliner there that I can just, rest back on for 12 hours a day? It was little things like that that was the sort of world that we were in every single day. And it's something that you don't anticipate to go through as a new parent. However, the care that we received and the love and support we received from every single member of staff at the neonatal unit at both the LGI and St James's is something we will never forget. Their devotion and passion to their job shines through, and the nurses in particular made every day that little bit easier. So thank you ever so much. It felt like they truly loved our boys and made such a fuss of them every day. I often said that they are angels on earth, and I trusted they would look after our two precious boys. It was the little things they did for families. So like you can see on there, we've got a homemade Mother's Day card. They did Father's Day cards, Valentine's Day cards. It was just incredible. They were always asking if we were okay as parents. And they celebrated those magical milestones as well. It really showed us how much they cared. They offered counselling to help us through the traumatic times. And they had wonderful play leaders who played with our boys when we couldn't be there too. They go above and beyond every single day to ensure that we can enjoy time with our newborns. And despite it being such a difficult time, they really helped us create precious memories as well. The hardest experience we had was when Leo was developed neck. So 1 month old, this killed all but 35 centimetres of his small intestine, and we nearly lost him twice. And saying goodbye to your child as he goes off into theatre is something that is unimaginable. He had 6 surgeries in total, and without the incredible surgeons and consultants, he wouldn't be here today, so we are forever grateful. Upon understanding that he was extremely poorly, we wanted to get him christened, so there's a picture up there as well of him being christened, and one of the lovely nurses arranged that to happen at short notice, and made sure it was as private for us as possible. And she even made sure that Luke was next to him by his side as well, which was really lovely. So on the 16th of March, after 2 months, Luca was allowed to come home with us, and it was bittersweet, as we longed, obviously, both our boys to come home at the same time. But Leo was still too poorly and was moved to the paediatrics ward shortly afterwards. The move to paediatrics was really scary, as we were so used to everyone at the neonatal unit. It was a tearful goodbye, as we genuinely were going to miss all the staff there. However, everybody on the paediatric ward was equally as wonderful, and they cared for Leo like their own child. And then finally, on the 26th of July, after 6 long months in hospital, going backwards and forwards every day with a newborn, Luca, Leo got to come home with us, and as you can see from Luca's face, he is absolutely thrilled that his brother could come home as well. Something that got me through those 6 months was imagining that picture of my husband, Ashley, carrying our babies out of hospital, and it was an emotional but very happy day. So now the boys are 15 months old, and we treasure every single moment with them. They are the most incredible boys who make my heart burst with pride. And just to think of how far they've come, they are exceptional. And I do think that premature and sick children are warriors, okay? We are so, so lucky to have our boys home, and it's because of the care that we received at Leeds Hospital that this dream was a reality. The work that Leeds Children's Hospital does is outstanding. We had to show our gratitude to the people who saved Luca and Leo's lives in the best way possible. And there's no amount of chocolate or sweets you can give them that could say our thank you. So I'm going to hand over to my cousin Emma, who will tell you how we said thank you in our own way.
Hi everybody, not quite sure how to follow that. We're really honoured to be here today, to get asked to come along. I'm just finding my clicker, sorry, I was like, you got my clicker? To be asked to come along was a huge honour, and not something that we expected. Before I start, I just want you to know that I'm here speaking today, but I am the face of literally hundreds of people who have been on the journey with us, friends, family, work colleagues and complete strangers who just all jumped on board to help us get to where we got to. A few years ago, I had a few health problems of my own, and at that point I actually wrote a bucket list from a very positive point of view. But on that bucket list I put go on a cruise, I put learn Spanish, which we're doing, see the Northern Lights, but right at the top I'd put on there make a difference. Didn't quite know how I was going to do that. It was just something that I wanted to do. I was actually boarding a flight home from Finland, where I'd had a successful viewing of the Northern Lights. So that was the first tick on that bucket list. When I received a WhatsApp from Ashley with a picture of the twins, my first reaction was, oh. My second reaction was to calculate the dates and then feel extremely worried. Spent the 3-hour flight back from Finland just praying for the boys, Natalia and Ashley. Supporting Natalia and Ashley throughout the time in hospital was really difficult. We were still coming out of COVID at that point. Grandparents didn't see the boys for months either. So social media, WhatsApp, sort of came into its own. And it was the only way that we could sort of get together and really support the journey as we went through. Spoke to Natalia, well, I say spoke, text Natalia pretty much daily. And as she said in her speech before, just wanted to give back, just wanted to do something. So Natalia had seen an incubator called the baby Leo, which just gave her everything she needed to tell me that we were raising money to buy an incubator because it was named after Leo. So I jumped on the internet, found out how much an incubator was. Didn't have a clue, but was still shocked that it was going to be £27,960 after without VAT. So I was like, okay, that's quite a lot of money, but we can do this. So jumped on board, created a page, and we sort of started to spread the word, as it were. I really can't see these screens. I put together a bit of a logo, and we changed the WhatsApp group that had been put together for Natalia's surprise baby shower that never happened into making a difference for Leo and Luca, and everybody, of course, just wanted to get on board there. The first thing that we did was we had to come up with a really, really big challenge, because £28,000 is a lot of money. So we decided to do the 3 peaks, the Yorkshire 3 Peaks. It's just a few hills. We can do that. 20 people were there, as you can see, the group there with our fabulous T-shirts that were made. We jumped on contacting the media, newspapers, and online. Natalia and I went on radio twice, so BBC Radio Leeds had us, and then a local Wetherby station as well. So we're doing everything to just get the word out that we wanted to raise this money. Here's a few slides from the actual walk. So as you can see, everybody pulling together in those fabulous T-shirts and climbing those peaks. Natalia will hate me for saying this, but she's still got no toenails. Sorry, mate. Because, it's a hard walk. The picture in the middle there on that slide pretty much sums up how we all felt after we'd done that. We then needed to raise more money, so we just kept going. Natalia's neighbour arranged a garden party in the summer that raised nearly £1,000. Work colleagues were doing bake sales, things like that. Everybody was just really going on. We were then asked by Ducky at the Children's Hospital if we would like to abseil off Leeds University. Obviously we said, yes, let's do this. So got a new team together, dressed up and jumped off Leeds University, which was absolutely fabulous. Just Giving were great. It's a great format, a great platform to raise money from. As you can see, they really encourage you, and we became the top 1% of fundraisers in the country. Thank you. The day that we hit the target, we didn't know really how to feel. We cried a lot and just felt so happy. And then felt a little bit lost because we kind of lived this charity journey for a whole year. So I don't necessarily think this is the last you'll see of us. I think we need to go again. So we had so much support from family and friends. We are a very small but close family. Uncle Ken, who you can see on there with the boys, he, at 83 years old, actually climbed the first peak, which is Penny Gent, the steepest, one of the hardest to climb, but he wanted to do it for his grandchildren, and we ended up getting, all the family up to the top of that one for a photograph. He was so supportive throughout the whole thing. And unfortunately, on Easter weekend, we actually lost him, but we were just over the moon that he was there right to the end and actually saw us reach that. So everything today is, sorry, Charlie, everything today is just, in memory of Grandad, great-granddad, and Uncle Kenny. Thank you.